no stranger to the Cardinals. 12 career starts.
And behind Zach Duke in the outfield, Niger Morgan, Nate McLouth, Brandon Moss. LaRoche is at the corners. Jack Wilson back in the lineup at shortstop. Freddie Sanchez back in at second base, and Robinson Diaz in behind the plate. Skip Schumacher, the second baseman, has stepped in.
Jack's back.
And the first pitch outside for a ball. Schumacher hitting .307. And he fouls this one away. Interesting note about Schumacher is he is the first Cardinal to move from the outfield to second base since Red Schoendienst did it.
Wow.
Wasn't like it was yesterday. That's the 1945-46 season.
Well, you know, a similar situation with Albert Pujols, who had played some left field, some third base, and now is a fixture over at first base for the Cardinals.
And a swing and a miss for a strike. Actually got a piece of it, tipped it into the glove of Diaz.
You know, the Cardinals are playing very good. They've got a very good record early in the season, but the Pirates have handled them in this ballpark. Last 5 games here, the Bucks are 4-1.
And Schumacher down on strikes, and an auspicious beginning for Zach Duke.
Well, take a look. First out of this ball game. Nice down and in and far enough in. Left-handers love to golf that ball if it's not far enough in, but Zach was able to turn it over, run it a little bit inside off that inside corner, and gets the strikeout. Good start.
Shortstop Khalil Green, former San Diego Padre, takes a strike. .235, 2 home runs, 11 runs batted in. He missed a little bit of time this year due to some tendonitis in a wrist. And he hits this one foul, and he is quickly in the hole. 0-2.
That's the way you do it. One other thing you like about Zach Duke so far, 6 starts coming into tonight's activity. He's only given up 2 home runs. You like that for any of your starters. Keep the ball in the ballpark.
It's just on the inside for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Khalil Green came up through the Padres organization. First year with St. Louis, and things are going fairly well for Green. That was a good pickup by the Cardinals. They had some question marks at shortstop in the past. Certainly no question mark at first base. And this one is down to third. LaRoche, 2 down. Let's take a look at Steve's keys to the game, brought to you by A&L Motors.
Well, we're going to keep it real simple. When you've lost 8 in a row, you want to keep it simple. Avoid Albert. Don't let him beat you. That's the first commandment. You know the other guys might, but you know he can. And score some runs. Score some runs for Zach tonight, and then keep it going. Score some more runs throughout this brief homestand. Get the bats going again.
Pujols hit a home run yesterday against Cincinnati. Scored 3 times in the game. Walked 3 times. And if you've got to face Albert, this is the way you want to do it, as you mentioned, with nobody on base.
He's the best ball player in the universe right now. Zach trying to keep the ball out away from him. He's got great power to the opposite field. He's just about good in every category. I mean, real good. And he finally just nicks that outside corner. Playing with it the first 2 pitches, and now he's able to hit it.
Pujols reached base in the first 28 straight games of the season. And now has reached base in almost all of those. 28 out of 31. 29 out of 31 games, beg your pardon.
And by the way, he is a better than average defensive first baseman. So and he has worked at that.
3-1 pitch is hit high and deep to center field. McLouth going back. He's just going to watch it. And that is gone. Dead center field. Albert Pujols, home run number 13. And Superman strikes again.
And he is in a perfect hitter's count. 3-1. As we said, he can hit the ball with power to any part of the ballpark. 3-1 pitch is right there on Grant Street. Zach knows it, Albert knows it, and the Cardinals lead 1-0.
This guy leads in home runs, runs batted in, And he's in the top 10 in average. Steve, you think he could be a Triple Crown winner?
He is as good a candidate as you've seen since Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln won the Triple Crown?
No, but he was a lock.
One and one to Ryan Ludwig. At PNC Park, Albert Pujols hits the ball pretty well, I would say. There's one to shortstop off the glove of Jack Wilson and out into left field. That'll be a base hit for Ludwig. And here are the numbers at PNC Park.
Boy, he's been quite a successful visitor, has he not? And now, by the way, he is 15 for 29 against Zach Duke.
Yadier Molina at the plate for the Cardinals. Takes a strike.
Here's the Ludwig base hit. It's ruled a base hit. The ball hit towards shortstop. Jack will tell you that he should have made that play. But the base hit is awarded.
Inside for a ball, 1-1.
One more time. He's got it measured. The ball just comes up higher than he thought it would and off the top of the glove.
Jack cut his rehab stint short by a game. On Sunday, did not participate in the game with Indianapolis and came back to PNC Park. And Yadier Molina hits one to deep left on the run. Niger Morgan makes the catch, and that's it. But Albert Pujols goes to dead center field for home run number 13, 1-0 Cardinals.
Pittsburgh is brought to you by PNC. PNC, leading the way. By Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines has low fares with no hidden fees. Book now on southwest.com, where what you see is what you pay. By your Toyota dealer, where quality, dependability, and good MPG all come standard. Toyota, moving forward. And by Geico Insurance. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO.
Well, off to a rough start. 1-0 Cardinals.
Man's best friend is not Albert Pujols.
No. Pirates' best friend certainly is not Albert Pujols. Yeah, now that's a pretty dog right there, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Pup night at the ballpark. Niger Morgan hits this one down to Khalil Green. And there is one out. John Russell's starting lineup against Todd Wellemeyer. Brought to you by PNC. Niger Morgan, we just saw him. Freddie Sanchez will bat second right about now. Nate McLeod and Adam LaRoche is in there in the cleanup spot. Hitting .327 at home. Only .133 on the road. So Sanchez in the batter's box, and Wallemeyer delivers. It's outside. Freddie was out of the lineup on Sunday in New York. I think he was scratching his head a little bit as to why, but John Russell wants to give him ample time off to make sure that his shoulder was okay. He insisted it was okay. So Sanchez happy to be back in the lineup tonight. 2-0 pitch. 2-1.
And this former bullpenner Todd Wallemeyer, 3-2, 4.75 ERA, making his 7th start. He and Zach Duke hooked up on April 8th, and Zach Duke came away with a win.
This one is down the right field line. Long run for Ludwig. He's not going to get it. Todd Wallemeyer.
His numbers this year, as you take a look at the stats in 36 innings, he has given up 47 hits. So the opponent's batting average, 326, is higher than he would like it to be. 30-year-old veteran from Louisville, Kentucky. He's been around a bit. Cubs signed him in the year 2000, 4th rounder. A little time with the Cubs, a little time with Kansas City. Mostly out of the bullpen, but the Cardinals made him a starter.
Sanchez foul tip into the glove of Molina. He strikes out. 2 men are out for the Pirates in the first. Defensively behind Todd Wallemeyer. The outfield was Duncan in left, Shane Robinson in center, Ryan Ludwig in right, Green, no relation, Schumacher and Pujols in the infield, Yadier Molina behind the plate. Nate McLeod, who homered in his last at-bat Sunday at Citi Field in New York, hit a 2-run shot, and it was a bomb.
But too little, too late.
He takes inside. Now, you mentioned Wallemeyer's from Kentucky, and John Wayner and I talked about this last week when we were in St. Louis. He has a title. He was given a title by the governor of Kentucky. He is officially a Kentucky colonel, which I guess if you're from Kentucky, that's a big deal.
Well, I think if you're a colonel anywhere, you've done well.
2-1 pitch, and that's down low. And John, of course, asked the question right away. We need to credit John with this. He said, since he plays for the Cardinals, is he a full bird colonel?
John just doesn't miss, does he?
Insert rim shot here.
Yep, he's on top of it.
2-out walk for Nate McLeod.
Wallemeyer's season has been interesting as you watch Adam LaRoche make his way to home plate. In 4 starts? 4 starts in April. He poured 22 innings, gave up 16 earned runs, but his last 2 starts, 7 innings in each of them, just 2 runs given up in each of them for 2 wins, as you might expect. So he got it together after the month of April. Unlike the Pirates, he's gone in the other direction.
Adam LaRoche takes a strike. Adam wasn't happy with his performance on the road trip. Only 2 for 18 against the Cardinals.
You saw his comparative numbers a moment ago at home and on the road, and they are quite a contrast.
Foul tip. That's a strike. 0-2 to LaRoche.
We talked a good bit about Wallemeyer and his odyssey before coming to the Cardinals. A lot of bullpen work, and they put him right into the rotation. And Dave Duncan, a very respected pitching coach, well, they got him turned around. And last year, after so much bullpen work, he won 13 games as a starter. Just had a terrific year, 13-9, his first full year starting Major League Baseball games. And Dave Duncan, whose son, by the way, is in left field. Chris?
Nice to be able to go to work with your son.
Yeah. Don't they have that day at school?
Take your kid to work day. It's every day for the Duncans.
Take your dad to work.
Snap throw back. And a good secondary lead by Nate McLeod, but he's able to get back in time. Which starts to bring up a question here, Steve, with a 1-2 count. Nate has not been thrown out running yet this year. Is it time to get him in motion? It's early, but you're down 1-0. Worst case, he's thrown out, and you start the next inning with your cleanup hitter.
Not a bad thought.
LaRoche LaRoche taps this one foul.
Very defensive, tentative swing for Adam. I guess the other side of the coin is you never want to give up the possibility of a 2-run home run either, because eventually he's going to snap out of this and he's going to start hitting the ball over the fence, because that's what Adam LaRoche does.
And maybe tonight is the night.
On that subject, Wellemeyer has only given up 2 home runs, as his mound opponent had done before the Pujols home run.
Are we going to start seeing pitchers handle Albert Pujols, do you think, like they did Barry Bonds, where they just start walking him even with guys on base?
I think you've got to. You really have to start considering that, because he's in that category. Especially a 2-out, nobody on situation. Now, a lot of people will argue, well, you're a major league pitcher. You want to see if you're good enough to get those guys out. And I understand that. But usually you will see that from veteran, successful guys have been around quite a while, have won a lot of ball games, and they'll probably take up that challenge more so than a young pitcher should.
And LaRoche strikes out, and the inning is over. We'll head to the second. It's a 1-0 Cardinal lead here at PNC Park. Nothing Cardinals on the home run by Albert Pujols, and very happy to have with us from the dugout the manager of the Pirates, John Russell. John, tough when you get the situation you want with Albert up and nobody on, and he hits one to dead center. That guy just keeps hitting the ball. Doesn't matter who it's against, it seems.
Yeah, he's obviously a great hitter, and you don't want to get into a 3-1 situation with him very often, because that's about what he can do. So hopefully that'll be the end of it.
John, do you think down the road at some point that more pitchers will work around him? Maybe the continuation of the old theory against Barry Bonds. Do you think that's coming?
If he keeps hitting like he is, yeah, I think that's going to be the trend, is people just don't want him to beat you even if it's nobody on. But, for our young staff, I mean, they need to learn how to pitch to these guys and, keep the ball down, make quality pitches. I thought the first 2 Zach threw him were pretty close, but, type of hitter that Albert is, I mean, his strike zone is going to be a little smaller, but he's earned that right because he is a great hitter.
2-1 to Chris Duncan. It'll be Duncan, Tyler Green, and Todd Wellemeyer as Zach Duke delivers the 2-1. And that's a breaking ball in there for a strike.
Jack Wilson back in the lineup. I would think that's a good feel around the entire ball club, John.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we went for a period, when Nate was out and Jack was out and Dolan out. I mean, you want to be strong up the middle. We felt like we really were, and then Dolan breaks his wrist, and Jack was out with his finger, and then Nate went down for a little bit. But it's great to have him back, and we're pretty strong at the middle again, and the catchers have been doing a pretty good job in Dolan's absence, but we can't wait to get him back as well.
I was going to ask you about the two catchers. You having been a catcher in the big leagues, John, they've held the fort rather well. I know what the batting averages are, but that's a lot of responsibility for these guys to handle an entire pitching staff, I would think.
Yeah, it is. And, Joe and Luis Durante have done a great job with these guys of keeping them in tune. And, they're working awfully hard, and people were asking us, why didn't we get a veteran catcher? But you can't just find a catcher anymore. It's a tough position to fill, and we felt like we had two very good young catchers, and Jaramillo and Diaz, and they've both done a very good job for us. They've caught well, they've worked the pitching staff well, and they've been able to swing the bat a little bit.
Tyler Green to the plate with Chris Duncan aboard on the walk. But John Light, what's going on lately? How do you keep these guys positive? How do you focus on getting that next win?
Well, we just, maintain the course. I mean, we're going to go through tough times during the season as well as any team. And ours gets magnified to a certain extent because of people talk about streaks every day. But, these guys they've been together. We had a pretty good go early, and we've run into some tough games here of late. And our starting pitching, I think, has done a pretty good job. We had a little letdown in the bullpen, and it's no secret we're having trouble scoring runs right now. So if we can ever get over the hump as far as getting a few runs across the plate, I think everybody will settle down and things will start heading the right direction.
Get some runs tonight. Thanks for joining us, JR.
Thank you, John.
Okay.
John Russell, Pirates skipper, joining us here. Todd Wellemeyer at the plate with one down. He's squaring. And he is in the 8th spot in the lineup. This is not the first time this season Tony La Russa has had his pitcher batting in the 8th spot. And the reason he does that, Steve, is he feels he can get Albert Pujols more at-bats with runners on by having a position player bat in that 9th spot. So he's counting on that later in the game. And the last time Wellemeyer was in the lineup in St. Louis, Albert Pujols ended up leading off 3 innings.
Well, you never know how it's going to work out. And I understand Tony's theory, and he's done it and has had a degree of success with it for quite a while. So it's nothing brand new, and some other teams have tinkered around with it. So, if he believes that he can get Albert up there more times, more people on base, then it's hard to argue with his approach to that whole scenario and how he looks at his batting order.
0-2, and Wellemeyer pulls the bat back. Will he square around again? Yes, he will. And that's inside. Good pitch by Zach Duke. 1-2.
A couple different approaches when you've got a guy up there bunting, a pitcher up there bunting, and it's 0-2. You can throw him high fastballs and hope that he doesn't get the bat up in time and you get the foul ball for the strikeout straight off. Or you can try the low breaking ball where he dips the end of the bat down, you get another foul ball. So there's an approach you can take with that 0-2 bunting situation where you can get that foul ball strikeout a decent percentage of the time.
Wellemeyer lays this one down foul, and he strikes out. So 2 out. Bunting the ball foul is Wellemeyer. 2 down for Shane Robinson. 2009 Pirates baseball on FSN Pittsburgh is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines has low fares with no hidden fees. Book now on southwest.com, where what you see is what you pay. And the dogs are in the Southwest flight deck tonight. What a nice dog. Got his own seat there.
It looks like a golden retriever or a yellow lab, something along those lines.
Robinson, line drive, right center field. That's down for a base hit. Duncan will turn second and head for third. Cardinals first and third with 2 outs on the top of the second.
And you get the knee-jerk reaction now. Well, if he'd had the bunt down, they'd score a run. But you have no idea that it's going to play out the same way. You can get the bunt down, get the guy over, and the guy doesn't get the base hit. So it's not automatic in these cases where you look back and say, well, that would have been a run if he got it done. Not automatic by any stretch of the imagination.
Here's Skip Schumacher. And even though he plays second base, he'll still play left field in games that he will not start, and even some that he has. Late in the game, Tony La Russa will move him out to left field in place of Chris Duncan as a defensive replacement. Robinson back to first. Robinson called up when Rick Ankiel went on the disabled list after that horrific crash into the center field wall about a week and a half ago or so at Busch Stadium. First and third, 2 down. Duke stretch, and the pitch to Schumacher is low for a ball. Schumacher with 8 doubles this season, and he's got a triple to go along that. One ball, no strikes. pitch to Schumacher. Just missed, 2-0.
Got to keep a little eye on Shane Robinson over at first base. In his minor league career, he has shown the ability to steal more than an occasional base.
Khalil Green, good contact guy on deck. 2-0. And this will be to Jack Wilson. He'll have one play to first, and he makes it. And that'll do it for the Cardinals in the top of the second inning. Jack Wilson back at it again.
Don't make is the best play. Zach Duke goes out there and then, well, it's good that he lets it go. I thought he pulled the glove back a little bit more, but he's got to stretch. If that ball goes off the edge of the glove, then they've got to run and a base hit. So you trust your shortstop to make the play, and that's exactly what Jack did.
Robinson Diaz, 381. And he has been providing some offense lately. And that's certainly something that is welcome. Hit his first major league home run against the Cardinals in the road trip last week. It was in the 7th inning in a game that Wellemeyer started. And he got it off Wellemeyer. Wellemeyer would come back and strike out the next two. And that was right inside the Pirates dugout. Just pinballing around. Paul Maholm, Adam LaRoche had to duck out of the way. Had 3 hits on Sunday against the Mets at Citi Field. You ought to see that play, Steve.
Yeah, what was your impression of?
It was pretty wild. I think I overheard Craig Hansen telling his teammates that this was a NASCAR stadium with all the advertising they have. It looked like a stock car. 3-2 pitch, and this one is up the middle and a base hit for Robinson Diaz. He continues to hit the baseball.
Well, it used to be a treat going to Shea Stadium. You had first of all, you had the traffic getting out of Manhattan on a bus. And then you had the parkways, or if you went down, was it Northern Boulevard? That was always an experience. You go by the chop shops to go in and park. Yeah. And then you go up into the broadcast booth with the stalactites and stalagmites dripping whatever it was dripping. It was scary stuff. So I'm sure it's much, much better.
That's very nice. It's new. Andy LaRoche takes a strike on the outside corner from Wellemeyer. 0-1 to Andy. Andy had reached in 22 straight games until having that streak snapped on Sunday at Citi Field. Diaz the lead from first, and the pitch is on the inside corner this time. And if you look behind home plate, where Randy Marsh is, the home plate umpire, just to his right. Pretty familiar face.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of him this fall. Steelers coach, Super Bowl winning coach, Mike Tomlin.
You win the Super Bowl, you sit in the front row.
Darn right, you should.
You don't? You get to sit on the roof.
What a good job he has done, and he's become a very familiar, good citizen in this city. Well, that looks like Secretariat.
Wow. This one is down towards second. Schumacher tries to get the one. That's all they're going to get, as Diaz, the lead runner, is retired. And LaRoche aboard on a fielder's choice.
Just a little chopper past Wellemeyer, and Schumacher had to give up some ground and takes the play, the correct play, get the lead runner. That's the only out they had available, or they had one out, and better to get it there from the Cardinal standpoint.
At the plate right now for the Pirates, a guy who really wants to get it going. He's seen his average dip quite a bit, down to 174, struggling lately. He scrambles part of the Cardinal dugout. That foul ball. 3 for 16 against the Cardinals, and from your right field position with 3 runs batted in, something certainly Brandon Moss knows he wants to pick up.
Yeah, you know that's weighing heavily on those shoulders.
Wellemeyer's pitch. Ball 1, 1-1.
Hard to imagine that the Steelers will be back to work in a couple months.
You know what, though? There are people counting down the days, hours, minutes.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Well, he's always at work, though.
Yep, but not tonight. Enjoying the ball game with the kids.
1 ball, 1 strike to Brandon Moss. 1-2.
Good off-speed pitch from Todd Wellemeyer. 9th start career-wise against the Pirates. 5-2 in the first 7. 6'3", 225, certainly big enough. As we said, he started with the Cubs, Kansas City, and now in the rotation for the Cardinals.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Talked about Wellemeyer before, May being Wellemeyer's month. And his career numbers for May, 9-1. That one loss was against the Pirates on this same day, 12th of May, in 2006, when he was with the Marlins. 2-2 pitch. And this one is knocked into the gap. Got to get down for a hit, and a welcome sight for Brandon Moss. 2 on and 1 out for Jack Wilson. Andy LaRoche over at second.
I forgot that part of the resume for Wellemeyer. 1 stop for part of the year in 2006 along the way to becoming a Cardinal. Yes, a base hit for Brandon Moss. Just relax a little bit. You can do that after that at bat.
So Jack is back. Going back to opening day in St. Louis, it was Jack Wilson's heroics with a run-scoring double in the top of the 9th that got the Pirates ahead to beat the Cardinals and spoil their opening day at Busch. Wilson in his rehab stint with Indianapolis against Syracuse went 2 for 6 with 2 doubles and 2 runs batted in. Cut it short a day, came back to Pittsburgh, worked out here yesterday, is back in the lineup tonight. Brian Bixler sent back to AAA Indianapolis. 0-1. And this one down the right field line, it's going to hook. 0-2 to Wilson with the pitcher Zach Duke on deck. Now, for a while, Jack had taped a pad before he went on the DL. He had a pad taped onto his bat handle because the bruise on his left finger was bothering him so much. He's got that off now. Two on and the 0-2 pitch. And fouled away.
We talk about Shea Stadium, the old Shea. To go along with the other things I was talking about, the other delights was the fact that instead of a post-game spread, they would order pizza. It would get there in the third inning, and they would keep it dry or keep it warm in the industrial underwear drying machine, the dryer. That was always a treat at the end of the game.
Whatever it takes.
Cold pizza with that special bouquet. That special bouquet.
0-2. That's outside. Is that why New York pizza has a unique taste to it?
Yes, it does. Yep.
Didn't know that secret.
Yep. Get it. Find an industrial dryer. It'll do the trick.
I just like it when you walk down the street, you look in the window, and it's there displayed for you, and you can get ziti, you get macaroni on top of the pizza.
Sure.
Pirates trying to get a run. Tying run in scoring position. That's Andy LaRoche. Brandon Moss, a base hits at first. 1-2 to Jack Wilson. And Wilson pops this one up. Yadier Molina will give it a look. And he'll retire Wilson. So 2 men are out, and the pitcher, Zach Duke, will give it a chance. He has a couple of doubles this year, so he can swing it.
Jack got jammed. That's what they used to call peanut butter and jam. Pitchers are always desperate for outs. They'll go in and holler at the catcher. Plenty of room. There could be a truck coming right at him. Plenty of room. Plenty of room. You're fine. You're gonna fall in the dugout no matter what happens. You're fine. Plenty of room. Go get it.
Outfield playing shallow for Duke. Apparently they've got a short memory. One of his 2 doubles has come against this team. And we're in San Diego, Steve, and he had a sacrifice fly to deep center field in San Diego, which is cavernous. And he rocketed it out there. So occasionally Zach will put a charge into the baseball. 1-0 the count. And he lifts this one into center field, a base hit. LaRoche is going to turn third. Here comes the throw from Robinson, not in time, as LaRoche beats the throw, and Zach Duke drives in a run. It's 1-1.
Well, that's what you call helping yourself. Simple as that. Put the ball in play, see what happens. He didn't get a lot of it, but he got enough of it to get it over the head of Khalil Green, and the Pirates back to dead even with those Cardinals. He's still in business.
Pat died a winner.
Hey, Scott.
Andy LaRoche scoring the game-tying run. 1-800-SAFE-AUTO reminds you that you're safe at home with Safe Auto, proudly supporting the Obadiah Cole Foundation for prostate cancer screening and awareness. Early detection is the cure.
Well, some base hits are just exactly perfect. That ball was out of the reach of the shortstop and not blistered fast enough to get out to center fielder Robinson so quickly that he would have had a more legitimate chance for a play at home plate. Just hit soft enough where he had to come get it. Didn't have time to make that out at home.
1-0 pitch. 2 balls and no strikes to Niger Morgan. Take a look at our Firestone stat update. Highest on-base percentage by leadoff hitters. Marco Scutaro of the Blue Jays. Felipe Lopez 2. Willie Taveras of Cincinnati. Niger Morgan 4th in baseball. Also the hardest man in the National League to double up. And he swings and he drives this one fairly deep to right center field. Going back is Ludwig. He's not going to get it. Moss comes in to score. Duke is being waved around. Zach Duke's going to score. And in with a triple, his 3rd of the season, is Niger Morgan. The Bucks in front 3-1.
And that's exactly what you needed for Zach Duke to be able to make that long trip around from first base. A deep fly ball into right center field, not caught, good hang time, dies on the warning track, 2 outs, and Zach off to the races with contact. Ludwig came that close to making this play. He doesn't, and now it's an easy trip all the way around. And Todd Willemeyer looking for that above average catch. It would have been a very above average catch. It was not made. And now they're going to check on Ryan Ludwig.
Yeah, I think Willemeyer was surprised because Ludwig defensively comes up with those balls more often than not. He is a very good defensive right fielder, and taking a look at his legs there.
Yeah, that's Barry Weinberg, the trainer for the Cardinals, who used to work for the Pirates in the minor leagues. Makes the long trip out there.
So Zach Duke smiling right now, but look how far he had to run for this one. Niger Morgan really got a hold of it.
Yep.
He was playing him to pull. He had to go into the gap. Shane Robinson not even close.
A couple things helped Zach Duke right there. First of all, nobody was near him, so he had as much of a lead as he could possibly want. And then 2 outs, he's got nothing to lose by taking off on contact. And this is cruising for Niger. This is a no contest triple. It'd be one of the easier triples he's ever going to hit.
And Niger Morgan now is tied with Michael Bourne of Houston, Matt Kemp of the Dodgers, and Shane Victorino of the Phillies for the most number of triples in the National League with 3. And as Ludwig tries to walk this one off, the Pirates have to look at this one, Steve, and say, this is a good situation. Now, this is not a good situation for Ryan Ludwig. Colby Rasmus is coming in, and we'll see if they send him out to center field and Robinson to right, but Ludwig is done.
Here's the attempt. Many times when you're flat out like that, it's a shoulder situation, as we saw with Freddie Sanchez last homestand when he went down flat out on the ground.
So now Colby Rasmus is in. Now the difference in run production here, Steve, you look at Ludwig, who leaves, he's got 26 RBIs, and Rasmus with one home run and 8 runs batted in, and now Robinson over to right field.
Yeah, you never want to speculate. It could be a leg, could be a shoulder, it could be an elbow, it could be anything.
Freddie Sanchez, 0 for 1, struck out his first time up. Wellemeier's pitch. That's outside, ball 1.
Well, you know what they say, when you're on this kind of streak, eventually it's going to end. Somebody's going to pay, and you hope that the Pirates can make the Cardinals pay tonight. It doesn't matter how you get it done, pitching better or hitting better. Just find a way at the end of 9 innings, or hopefully 8.5 innings, that you've got more runs than the other guy, whether it's 2-1 or 11-10. Just find a way. Find a way.
Sanchez 9 for 24 against the Cardinals. 3 doubles, a home run, 3 runs batted in 5 games prior to this one. Sits safely in 6 of his last 7 games against the Cardinals. Sanchez wants more doubles. And he will take ball 4. First and third for Nate McLeod.
Second walk for Wellemeier.
Dave Duncan's going to come out and have a word with his pitcher, Wellemeier. But, Steve, as you look at the second inning, this is exactly the kind of inning the Pirates couldn't get on the last 5-game road trip. No matter how much they tried, they had runners on base. For whatever reason, they couldn't get that key hit. Niger Morgan had that key hit. Zach Duke had that key hit this inning.
Yeah, well, you look at the card, and there's 2 outs and runners on first and second. You know, that is a kind of half an inning that can go either way. And most times, because of defense and pitching, you'll have that third out and you leave those runners on. You need to cash it in, and you're exactly right. That's what the Pirates have not been doing. You look at critical offense scored around the major leagues. A lot of it is so big when it comes with 2 outs. Those are your big hits. You can get those momentum innings going where you get 5 and 6, 7 runs in an inning. Very seldom is it come when there are 2 outs.
8th man to the plate this inning.
Well, you're in the bonus round now. The Pirates have scored 3. They've got a pitcher that's somewhat back on his heels a little bit because the Pirates have made a run at him. And you've got a guy at the plate who can hit the ball over the fence. It's called the bonus opportunity.
The 1-0 coming. And that's in there for a strike, 1-1.
He's been hot lately, but he's not been hot against the Cardinals.
Did not get many hits early in the season, and considering the Pirates opened with 4 against the Cardinals, Nate struggled in that series. That's why his numbers are not good against St. Louis. That one's inside. Recently,
yep. Yeah, well, that covers it. The numbers up top and then that bottom line. Season against the Cardinals, and the Cardinals and the Pirates have been hooked up a lot early in the year.
McLeod, this will go into right field. A base hit. Another run's going to come in. Niger Morgan scores. It is 4-1. RBI number 23 for Nate McLeod.
And how many of those kind of balls right there against the Pirates have found holes like that? And for the Pirates, they've been hitting balls like that at people. And that's not an exaggeration. So this routine ground ball finds the hole, as so many of them have against the Bucks. This one is for the Bucks.
And this is a big at bat for Adam LaRoche here. Struggling in the last 2 weeks. Now with 2 on and 2 out. 4 runs have come in here in the second inning. And he takes inside ball 1. Adam struck out to end the first.
Big hit by Niger Morgan, but as you mentioned, you can't ignore that base hit by Zach Duke. I mean, every major league team is counting on that pitcher to make that third out. And when you can prevent that from happening, that's a big, big at bat. Big.
1-0. Way inside. Almost got him.
Mr. Wellmeyer's out of sync now. Todd Wellmeyer, who has done a good job, especially in his last 2 starts. As we said, 7 innings in each of them, giving up just 2 runs in each of them. Pitching extremely well, but he's a little back on his heels right now. This is a fun pitch for Adam LaRoche to look at.
The 35th of the inning for Wellemeyer. And he fouls it off. Adam's been excellent at home this year. It's the road that's been getting him, but his home numbers. Take a look at these. Now, Ian Kinsler, 192, 467 at home. He hit it for the cycle this year. Adam LaRoche, 327 at home, 133 on the road. 194 difference.
Yeah, that's a differential like that. Differential is supposed to be part of your car, isn't it? Not that
big. That fluid, right?
Yeah.
Walk would know that. Strike call on the inside corner, 2-2. Adam LaRoche, 9th man to hit against Todd Wellemeyer here in the second inning. 4-1 Pirates. Sanchez at second and McLeod at first. Wellemeyer set. Now the pitch. And this one fouled away.
Well, with every pitch that Todd is delivering, it's shortening his stay in this ball game. That's just the way it works, whether you're a Cardinal or a Pirate or Texas Ranger. It's just the way it works when you're starting and you run up this kind of pitch count in the second inning. That's the way things are these days.
Two pitch. And LaRoche strikes out for the second time in the ball game, but the Pirates put 4 across as Zach Duke helps his own cause with an RBI single. Niger Morgan drives one deep to right center for a triple, and Nate McLeod drives in his 23rd run of the season. What a beautiful, beautiful shot at downtown Pittsburgh, and Khalil Green. Foul ball on the first pitch. Pirates with a 4-1 lead. They haven't scored 4 runs in an inning in 10 days. May 2nd, in the first inning against Cincinnati, they did it.
Yeah, that line score looks just as good as that skyline.
Niger Morgan with a triple, his 3rd of the season. Nate McLeod, who has been coming up with big, big hits, doubles lately. He's been dipping into the double bank here, pulling some off. He didn't have one for quite a while, and now McLeod with 4 of them.
And how about Zach Duke? He has 4 runs of support. His last 2 starts, the Pirates scored a total of 2 runs.
Pitch to Green, foul tipped into the glove for a strike, 1-2.
Against Cincinnati, he was shut out. The Reds beat him and the Pirates 4-0 on the 1st of May, and then on the 6th, the Cardinals won 4-2. Not much offense for Zach, but a better start tonight.
Pitch inside. That missed.
Diaz trying to frame that. Did frame it. Couldn't complete the sale. Trying to sell it to home plate umpire Randy Marsh. No sale.
And this one down to 3rd. Took a skip off the grass. And there is one down. Let's open up tonight's Geico quote book. Albert Pujols, after last Thursday's game, said to the St. Louis papers, "So I guess they're going to pitch inside. If we're suspicious about somebody taking one of our players out, we're going to take one out too. I don't think it's something to worry about." That's tonight's Geico quote. One out and nobody on for Albert Pujols. How do you think Zach Duke? Well, let's look back at this first. Ouch.
That not only hurts your ribs, that might take, well, up on the upper hip. You say you get in the ribs sometimes, it hurts your ribs. It also takes your breath away. But that one is not that high.
2-0. You're talking about the approach you have to take. We talked about it with John Russell too last inning when he joined us. Now, when do you start walking this guy? And not right now. Probably a good thing. Sanchez will take care of him. Little underhand scoop. And there are 2 away.
But, you know, John made that point that I was trying to make. He made it better than I did. That as a young pitcher, you want to find out if you're good enough to get these guys out. You know, you have to pick your spots. So Zach had an opportunity with 2 outs and nobody on in the first, and took a shot at it and didn't work. This time, a 2-1 count, another good hitter's count, made a much better pitch and gets the out. Eventually, you want to prove that you're good enough to handle any of these guys that run up against you. You just got to either pick your spot or make better pitches.
0-1 the count. Colby Rasmus hitting for Ludwig, and he hits this one to right center field, and on the run, Nate McLeod, and he tracks it down. Good defense by the Gold Glove center fielder Nate McLeod, as he goes after it and takes away possible extra bases. Zach Duke likes it. Nice running catch by Nate McLouth to end the inning. Todd Wellemeyer is facing Robinson Diaz, Andy LaRoche, and Brandon Moss also due to face him this inning. Diaz singled, 1 for 1. He knocks this one down the right field line, just foul. Look at the amount of room that Nate McLouth had to cover in order to take this one away from Colby Rasmus.
Yeah, he gets a good jump on the ball. Now he's got it measured. The last 2/3 of that play, and the good play is created in the most part by the fact that he read the ball off the bat. Got a good jump, and now he's got it measured. He's still got a good extension. He still can't lollipop over there. But if he doesn't get that good jump, I don't think he reaches that ball. A lot of it happens in the first 3 or 4 steps. Let's see if we can show you any more of.
Hit it right into the reflection. The 2-2 pitch is hit down to short, backhanded. Khalil Green, long throw, got him.
And that's an above average play.
Very good play by Khalil Green. And Diaz is down 6-3. Now Andy LaRoche will get a chance, but Khalil Green does a good job picking it at short.
Several steps on the backhand side and then throw across your body with good direction and a little zip to it. We take that play for granted. These are major league shortstops that make that play. There's a lot involved in that play. Throwing across your body with something on it and then to be accurate. The accuracy part is the thing that I think that impresses me the most. On the run, backhand, running toward third base and throwing back toward first.
You've got to have a strong lower body because when you plant and throw off that back foot, you always have to put a little more on it just to get it over there, to keep it out of the dirt. 1-2 the count. Jack Wilson waiting to get another at bat.
Hail to Pitt.
One is a foul ball back to the screen.
I remember spending an entire winter almost at every banquet I went to in the early 70s with Johnny Majors, and they always finish up, hail to Pitt, hail to Pitt.
Johnny Majors is a good coach.
Yep. Had a pretty good running back that few years too.
Yeah, they named a street after him, didn't they?
Yeah.
Again, another backhand. This one deeper in the hole, and he's got LaRoche.
There's that arm strength again you're talking about. This time he had a little more time to set that back foot. Made the play.
Brandon Moss ropes his second base hit. Now he's got it going. 2 for 2. 2-out single for Moss.
Pardon the grammar, but more gooder.
More gooder.
Yep, more gooder.
Well, they got a pitch he could handle here. Good arm extension once he got that bat head out. And Jack Wilson hits one to center field. Colby Rasmus underneath it. He will retire Wilson. And the Pirates are gone, but they get a hit off of Todd Wellemeyer.
is brought to you by Barrel Automotive, Barrel.com. Definitely worth the click. And by Aflac. Aflac, we've got you under our wing.
And the Dogs enjoying the 4-1 lead by the Pirates. Good seats, eh, buddy?
I'll tell you.
Enjoying the game.
There's my golden retriever again.
That's pretty dog.
Yep.
Pass the nachos. Or else. Yadier Molina fouls the first pitch from Zach Duke away in the top of the fourth. And what's that one in the middle?
Is that a Terrier? Airedale is what I meant.
Airedale or an Airmail? Ground ball just wide of third. Yadier Molina won his first Gold Glove last year with the Cardinal behind the plate. Pretty good start offensively, too.
Now he's working on a Silver Slugger. Catcher that he is. Hitting.
And he just got plunked. And he got plunked pretty good. That is painful for Yadier Molina. As Molina now will be greeted by Tony La Russa. La Russa not too happy about it.
That's the first batter that Zach Duke has hit. And trust me, Zach Duke is not trying to put any Cardinals on the bases. Nobody out. He's got a 3-run lead. The Pirates have lost 8 in a row. Pirates are trying to pitch more inside. He gets Molina. And then we go. Well, we have a moment while we're getting everybody squared away. A special get well greetings to Dr. Rick Gratisek, who is recovering from elbow surgery at Beaver County Medical Center. A big Pirates fan. Physician, not heal thyself. Get healed. Our best wishes.
St. Louis been hit more than anybody. And the pitch to Chris Duncan misses. 1 ball and no strikes. Duncan walked to lead off the second inning. 2-0. Two balls, no strikes. Joe Kerrigan, pitching coach from day one. I remember, Steve, we were sitting talking with Joe in January, talking about his philosophy of throwing inside, and that's something that the Pirates didn't do enough of last year. Right back to Zach Duke. He'll go to Wilson for one. It's a double play.
Nice job coming back from that 2-0 count after putting a runner at first base. An inning that could have been a little stark for the Cardinals now has settled down, and he gets part of a bat. He gets a ball, throws it to Jack Wilson. He throws it over to Adam LaRoche, and got 2 quick outs.
Such a quick release by Wilson, and Duke, no hesitation, knew he had to throw that right over the second base bag, and Wilson would be there.
Yep, and he had a catcher running, so he had plenty of time. Made a good throw to Jack Wilson at second base, and that's the key. Sometimes pitchers get a little antsy with that throw to second base, and they'll squeeze the ball and they'll choke it and throw change-ups and sinkers, but Zach turned it loose and gave Jack Wilson a good feed.
Nyjer Morgan going to watch it drop in front.
I was hoping he'd be a little more in front of that ball. He took it on the side, and that ball had a little skip to it, but he was able to stay with that quick hop.
That could have been trouble. Again, I think he thinks he's got a chance on this ball right off the jump.
Early, yeah. And then the ball was hooking a little bit, and all's well that ends well. He stayed with a bounce.
Strike is called to Todd Wellemeyer, the pitcher, batting 8th for Tony La Russa.
Got a couple hits on the year. The 0-1 pitch. Strike 2 call. So
big batter now for Zach Duke. Wants to get the pitcher out, even though he's in that 8th spot. Really doesn't matter all that much what spot he's in, but you get the pitcher here with 2 down.
Put him away.
0-2 pitch. Strike 3 in the dirt. And a throw down, strikeout 2-3, the putout. So Zach Duke is through 4, up by 3. Which Pirate holds the season record for batting average at PNC Park. Think about that one. Bottom of the 4th inning. Zach Duke will lead off. 4-1 Pirates. And Duke takes a strike. Duke with the RBI single and a run scored in that 4-run 2nd inning.
And some good pitching after the home run given up to Prince Albert in the 1st inning.
Well, he had him in a can in his 2nd at bat.
I get it.
First at bat.
My grandfather was a pipe smoker. He used to smoke Prince Albert.
First at bat was a different story.
Remember the old joke? You know, you call the drugstore, do you have Prince Albert in a can? And of course, they had the tobacco, and they said yes. Well, let him out.
It's hard to breathe in there. No balls and 2 strikes to Zach Duke.
Got something going on with a camera or something out in center field.
Not sure what
Randy
exactly
Marsh
they're pointing at.
Pointing at something in center field.
Here's the 0-2. That's outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Could be a German Shepherd loose out there.
Nigel Morgan. And there is a possible hit taken away by Skip Schumacher. He got it out to where it might have dropped in, but Zach Duke unable to get on base. This Friday night, the Pirates take on the Rockies. It's Dollar Dog Night, compliments of Sugardale and Saloni's Italian Bread. Had some of that yesterday. All fans in attendance receive a Pirates reusable grocery bag, courtesy of Waste Management. Visit pirates.com or call 1-800-BUY-BUCKS. Strike called to Nigel Morgan. 0-1 pitch. And Morgan fouls this one away. Two-run triple in the 2nd inning. And he grounded out to Khalil Green at short in the 1st. And he goes right down to Green again. Catch and throw, same motion, and he just barely gets Nigel Morgan. Well, we asked you our Aflac trivia question earlier this inning. Had to do with PNC Park. Batting averages.
My guess is Freddie Sanchez.
That'd be a pretty good guess. Freddie Sanchez is indeed the answer.
How about
2006, 388. It's amazing how you get these things, Steve.
Yep, once a month. That's right.
Oh. And the benches are worn by Randy Marsh. Now, this is something that in Major League Baseball, there was a situation in a game with the White Sox the other day where this occurred. And now Tony La Russa visiting with Randy Marsh. Probably not a pleasant visit at this point. John Russell watches on.
I thought it hit him at first glance.
3-0 now to Sanchez. See where that pitch came out of his hand.
Freddie thought he was going to be sent to first base, but Randy Marsh was coming out to warn both benches.
And ball 4, so he is aboard regardless.
Walk number 3 for Todd Wellemeyer.
In a walk with 2 outs, with the third hitter in the order, Nate McLouth, who is 1 for 1, coming up. Obviously, Wellemeyer down 3 runs, doesn't want to put base runners on, but got to wonder about throwing behind a guy. Check swing, that's a fair ball. Molina retires McLouth. So an excuse me out for Nate McLouth. Through 4 innings at PNC Park, Zach Duke and the Pirates with a 4-1 lead. Zach Duke pitching to Shane Robinson, delivers strike 1 on a breaking ball.
You know, just to go back to that ball that was thrown behind Freddie, that wasn't a very good job of being subtle if you're trying to let your teammates know that you're going to protect them a little bit. I mean, throw it up and in. You throw it behind them, that's pretty obvious that you're going to get warned. And, up and in would be a little more subtle.
Todd Wellemeyer feeling the effects right now. He's not pleased with things, and again, it's unusual for him to do poorly in May. He's very, very good in May, but he's got that sneaky grin there.
Wry grin.
Like he knows something we don't.
Thought I was looking at an old shot of Larry Durker there for a minute.
Skip Schumacher. 0 for 2
Well, an umpire has a discretion if he so chooses and thinks that way of throwing a pitcher out whenever he wants to. So it doesn't have to be after a warning is issued. If he thinks he saw something blatant, he can throw somebody out anytime.
Ball and 2 strikes to Schumacher. And this one is a bouncer down to Wilson. He's got him, 2 down.
Good start to the 5th inning for Zach Duke.
Well, one thing the Pirates certainly missed with Wilson out of the lineup was his arm. And the way that he can throw the ball from shortstop, the way that he gets it out of his glove, and the quick release, and the power he puts behind his throws.
Well, Jack Wilson is just flat out good shortstop. You see the little protection on that hand as he puts it in the glove.
That glove's been oiled up a time or two.
Mm-hmm.
Strike call to Khalil Green.
But even so, it looks like a prime piece of cowhide compared to Bill Mazeroski's old gloves.
Green has grounded out twice to Andy LaRoche, and he's in the hole, no balls and 2 strikes. How long did you keep a glove?
A year.
Really?
I changed once a year. Yep. But Maz, I mean, the way they looked were a disgrace. They were a disgrace that took him to Cooperstown. So appearances can be deceiving.
I mean, he's got that glove broken in where it's sort of flat.
Yeah. Well, the infielders don't want those hinged gloves. They want gloves that are open. They want them wide open because they're going to get the ball so fast when the ball is hit to them.
Duke's 1-2 right by Khalil Green.
Where's that?
Pumps in strike 3, and the Cardinals are done in the top half of the 5th. Nice night at the ballpark. Great night to be out here. Game 1 of a 6-game homestand. Hope you make your plans to come out. Great promotions as we go on through the course of this homestand. 2 more with the Cardinals, and then 3 with the Colorado Rockies starting Friday. 2 balls and no strikes to Adam LaRoche. LaRoche has struck out swinging twice.
Great night to be at the ballpark. Great night to pitch, too. This is very comfortable pitching weather. You don't have that heavy sweat and feel just worn out and worn down. Easy night to kind of feel strong, and that kind of looks like the way Zach Duke is feeling right now.
64 degrees at game time. 3-0 pitch, and LaRoche takes a strike. And we saw Todd Wellemeyer throw one behind Freddie Sanchez. Both benches were warned last inning. And now LaRoche hits one to deep center field. On the run is Rasmus. He'll look up. It's gone. Home run. Adam LaRoche. And it's 5-1 Bucks. LaRoche hit his 6th home run of the season right there. And that was a line shot to dead center.
That's what you call centering the ball. On the bat and direction-wise. 2 strikeouts and then the home run. Feast or famine or feast in this case.
And Robinson Diaz lines this one into right field. First pitch he sees, and Diaz with a 2-hit game.
And could very possibly have 3. Nice play by Khalil Green. Stopped him from having a perfect night.
Well, Adam LaRoche on the Southwest field cam. That ball just kept carrying.
Yeah, Rasmus thought he had it measured, maybe a mid-warning track, and then got to the track and said, "No, this is not coming down."
And there's Adam. Never gets too high, never gets too low.
And the swing is pretty much the same all the time. And when the timing is right, the ball goes like that. They're moving around in the Cardinal bullpen now, as the Pirates have extended their lead now to 5-1 as we play in the bottom of the 5th inning. Dave Duncan out to talk with Wellemeyer.
Well, the bullpen scrambling. Well, let's check out our Verizon Wireless The Road Ahead. Pirates' upcoming games and TV schedule. Tomorrow, Penguins are on FSN, Game 7 there. But Thursday, back at it, and the entire series on the weekend with the Colorado Rockies. Sunday, concluding at 1:30. So go to the Pens tomorrow night. Get their work cut out for them. Trying to win a Game 7 on the road. But it can happen. Andy LaRoche fouls it back. And Blaine Boyer starting to heat up in a hurry. On the bottom of the 5th inning, 5-1 Pirates. Adam LaRoche has hit his 6th homer. Wilson Diaz a single. He's at first base, and Andy LaRoche takes strike 2. Here comes the 0-2 to LaRoche from Todd Wellemeyer. He lifts it foul and out of play down the right side. Hanging in there. Yeah, that's a good place to sit if you come to a Pirates game, because Andy LaRoche is going to hit a few, but Freddie Sanchez is going to hit a ton down there. Yeah. Now that Jack Wilson's back, he'll hit a few too. No balls and 2 strikes. And foul tip into the glove of Molina for strike 3. 1 away for Brandon Moss. Like Andy just trying to protect himself.
Yeah, the unsuccessful chase. Oh, way out of the strike zone, and he'd like to have that swing back. Or that opportunity. Doesn't want that particular swing back, but another shot, another chance.
Brandon Moss has a good swing tonight, 2 for 2. And he hits this one high and deep to right field. Way back, it's gone! 2-run home run, Brandon Moss. His first of the season, and Moss is now 3 for 3.
Look at as he rounded second base. Something came off his shoulders. That must have been the monkey. The monkey is off his back. It's official. 3 for 3 with a ding-dong.
7-1.
That got to feel good. So good.
Boy, he saw this pitch and salivated.
And, you know, it's so interesting talking to hitters. I see the ball. I saw the ball good tonight. I never saw the ball. I'm not seeing the ball good. Or I see the ball real good. And it's such a subtle thing. And Tony La Russa is going to make a pitching change. Excuse me now. But it's funny for hitters. When they see the ball, that kind of stuff can happen. When they don't, it can be so frustrating, as you saw by the early numbers for Brandon Moss before tonight. He's still not out of it, but boy, what a good feeling that's going to be for the Pirate right fielder.
So Blaine Boyer will come in to replace Todd Wellemeyer. Our Columbia Gas 811 call to the pen has been made. We'll tell you about Boyer of the Cardinals when we return to PNC Park. Savard on Sports Beat's Kids Night has a new date, Thursday, June 18th, and Stan needs your help with the show. We're looking for 2 boys and 2 girls, maybe somebody in that crowd right there, age 10 to 17, to be his co-hosts. To enter our random drawing, visit fsninsider.com today. We've extended the entry period until June 10th. Somebody's going to co-host with Stan.
Blaine Boyer making his 9th appearance since becoming a Cardinal. He came over from the Atlanta Braves on the 20th of April. It's been much better for Blaine Boyer since becoming a Cardinal than it was when he was an Atlanta Brave. Those are the overall numbers, but much better since the trade.
Jack Wilson fouls it off. 1 ball, 1 strike. Think of this, Steve. In the 5th inning, the Pirates had home runs from Adam LaRoche and Brandon Moss. 2 home runs in the inning. Todd Wellemeyer gave up that many home runs all season so far coming into the 5th inning. Doubled it in the 5th. Brandon Moss just saw one that was put on a silver platter.
Right there. There's that classic semi-uppercut left-hand hitter swing that gives you that loft, and he just drilled it just above the Clemente wall.
He's been waiting for that. He told me last week after he hit a triple in St. Louis that he felt that he had his swing back. And he had some problems against the Mets in the weekend series, but tonight 3 for 3. It's just one of those nights where he's developed a groove and feels like he's in the flow.
Seeing the ball, yep.
3 balls and 2 strikes to Jack Wilson. Jack is 0 for 2. Toward the middle. Green's got it. And there's an out. So 2 men out in the 5th for the Pirates. Blaine Boyer comes in, gets the first out. Now it'll be Zach Duke, who's hit the ball twice, once for an RBI single, and then popped one up out of the short right center field that was tracked down by the second baseman, Skip Schumacher.
And you will hear the Pirate manager tomorrow morning or tonight after the game if the Pirates win this ball game, and we hope that they do. He'll talk about the base hit of Zach Duke with 2 outs and not much happening. That kept it alive and took it up to Niger Morgan. Take it up to the top of the batting order. Get the 2-run triple and you're off to the races.
Strike 2 call. Well, it was 1-0 Cardinals at that point. And his base hit scored Andy LaRoche from second base. And then Moss and Duke would ride home on the triple by Niger Morgan. That was in the 4-run 2nd inning. And now a 3-run 5th inning. The hit parade continuing tonight for Brandon Moss. Duke gets a piece of it.
You know, you talk to hitters who are on a roll, and I'm not just talking about Brandon Moss because it's just one night. You hope that it becomes a big roll. But they will tell you when you're on that streak where they're really hitting the ball well that the game slows down, the pitch slows down, and they can follow it. And I guess that's what they mean by seeing the ball better. It's not on top of them before they can react or get the swing to where they want it to be. They pick up the ball earlier, they see it, they're comfortable with it. And it's hard to explain, but that's what they say.
Duke goes down on strikes to end the inning, but a couple of big flies as Adam LaRoche picked up the phone and dialed long distance to dead center field. And Brandon Moss, with a man aboard, leaps the Clemente wall for his first round tripper of the season. Bucks up by 6 runs. Night falling over downtown Pittsburgh. 7-1. The Bucks have broken out the bats here. Top of the 6th inning, Albert Pujols. Pujols with a home run in the 1st inning. Grounded out to second base in the 3rd. He'll take this one for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. For the game, we give you the A&L Motors keys to the game. And
1 out of 2 ain't bad.
And that one's right down to Andy LaRoche. Jack Wilson recovers and he throws him out. Oh, what a play by Jack Wilson.
How about that 5-6-3 play? Little glove work for the Pirates as Albert blistered that ball down to the hot corner off the glove of Andy LaRoche, but Jack Wilson over there just in case he's needed. He is needed, and he gets it done. And that's a fine off-balance throw with really not having time to set yourself. Terrific stuff for Jack Wilson back in the lineup, making a nice play. And you think a pitcher trying to go as deep as he can in a ball game doesn't appreciate that. Zach Duke does.
It's like the Pirates found a new way to get Albert out.
Yeah, the deflection play. Way to go, Jack.
I don't know who's more relieved, Zach Duke or Andy LaRoche.
Well, Andy's relieved and Zach's grateful. Because once that ball gets off the glove of Andy LaRoche, Zach Duke thinks that's a base hit, but Jack says,
Jack is peeking in to get the sign. Robertson Diaz is putting down. And watch this ball. It's a hot shot right off the bat. Goes in and out of the glove of LaRoche. On the short hop. He was lucky to even get near there.
Yeah, that's one of those kind of Matador Olay kind of plays. You bring the glove up hoping that you're in sync with the bounce and rhythm with the bounce. And sometimes when you get it, it's a nice little side saddle play. Pretty looking play, but you don't always get it. Jack was there.
Andy didn't know where the ball was. I think he was thinking it went out in the left field. So Wilson, after Ryan Ludwig hit one past him in the 1st inning, is credited with a hit. Ludwig has since left the game with a right hamstring. He'll be reevaluated tomorrow. Colby Rasmus hitting in his place now. But ever since that play that was not a smooth one for Jack, he's made everything else. And then some. One down, top of the 6th. The 2-2 pitch. 3-2 now to Rasmus. Rasmus considered one of the bright young prospects that the Cardinals have. They really like this kid. That was a straight back. Three balls and 2 strikes to Rasmus. Came into the game and had to come in cold. And that one hit him. As Zach Duke was trying to come inside, but Randy Marsh feels there was no intent there. And Rasmus slowly on his way to first base. And his elbow moved right into it.
Did he make a real attempt to get out of the way?
Oh, he stepped into it.
Yep. Now, if you're reading something into that, I think you're reaching a little bit. Now, Tony wants to talk to Randy Marsh. Probably saying, well, what was the purpose of the warning?
Well, Tony didn't see the replay we just saw in defense of the skipper. I think if he had seen that replay, and he will at some point, he would probably agree that there was no intent here. You can see where Rasmus just steps right into it.
Getting ready to pull the trigger, and that back elbow is just hanging down there.
Yadier Molina at the plate. One out. Rolls it down to LaRoche at third. And he's got one play. He'll go to first base and take him there. And there are now 2 down. Let's take a look at our Barrel Automotive League leaders stat. Fewest pitches per inning. National League. There he is. Zach Duke. 14 pitches. Even.
Ross Ollendorf on that list.
Ollendorf will go tomorrow against Joel Pinheiro.
Take a look after 2 quick outs, 21 pitches in the first inning, but then continually getting more efficient and going along quite nicely. Thank you.
Runner at second, 2 down for Chris Duncan. Duncan so far has walked and hit into a double play. Started by Zach Duke in the 4th inning after Yadier Molina was hit by a pitch. He'll take a strike on the inside part of the plate. I think Robinson Diaz got crossed up.
Man on second. Yep. Now, Jim, this is the kind of game, if it gets out of hand on the Pirates side in terms of score, sometimes if you think you're being thrown at, and I'm not making any judgments one way or the other, if you have that perception as the opposing team that's getting beat up, sometimes you can stir the pot. I've seen the pot get stirred. In other words, there's nothing really at stake if you take a shot, if you think your guys have been thrown at. And I'm not predicting that's going to happen. I have seen it happen.
0-1 rolled down to first. That's foul. Well, when you play each other so often, being in the same division, sometimes you get some ill feelings.
Yeah, but I would say 90% of the time, you know if somebody's throwing at somebody intentionally. And then, retaliation is okay, as long as you don't start trying to knock somebody's head off. And you can retaliate. If you think somebody's throwing at you, you can retaliate. You can hit somebody. I go along with that. But you don't throw at his head. But you've got to let your teammates know that you're going to try to protect him. You're aware of what's going on.
So left-hander Trevor Miller loosening. And a swing and a miss, strike 3. And Zach Duke has struck out 5, and he is through 6. Pirates 7, Cardinals 1. Pirates in front. Time for tonight's Coors Light Freeze Cam. And here it is. Look at that. Barrel of the bat, centering the baseball. Great look at the power shot by Adam LaRoche. Well over the .399 sign in center field. Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Left-hander Trevor Miller is the new pitcher for the Cardinals.
I don't know if we can take another look as you take a look at the numbers for Trevor Miller, the veteran left-hander, but that was a great shot in the freeze cam because they tell you to keep your bat level, and that gives you an idea how hard it is to hit the ball square when you've got the bat at an angle like that. That bat was down. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. It's hard enough when you got the bat level straight across, but when you're going downstairs and you got that uppercut, even tougher.
Andrew Morgan takes a strike.
You stop it. Yeah. See where the bat is like that? That's tough because sometimes you want that bat to come straight across like that. You can't always do it. Pitchers don't want you to do that. But that's what you call getting down there and getting it flush.
0-2 now to Niger Morgan. Morgan had the big 2-run triple in the second inning, wrapped around a pair of ground outs to Khalil Green at short. He's 1 for 3.
Give me an idea how long you can hang around and how much time you can rack up in the big leagues if you're a left-hander, a dependable left-hand reliever. This is Trevor Miller's 7th Major League team, 9th professional organization. He's found a way to really carve out a terrific career.
Niger Morgan strikes out. Freddie Sanchez will be the hitter.
You see the same kind of trajectory Niger Morgan had that Adam LaRoche had, but Adam had a better pitch to hit, more into the strike zone, but the angle of the bat pretty much the same.
Well, you talk about lefty relievers, and they seem to have a much longer lifespan than a lot of other people in baseball.
Yep.
It's just hard to find the good ones. I'll bet Miller knows every traveling secretary in baseball.
Well, he's also got a suitcase. He's got a great luggage collection. You get a suitcase with every team.
Sanchez takes outside, 2-0.
How long did Jesse Orozco pitch left-handed for the Mets? How many decades? And that is plural.
Sanchez chops the 2-0 foul. Yeah, Jesse was still trying to give it a go with the Dodgers at one point in the minor leagues, and then eventually was brought up to the big club.
Well, he never found a way to fill up his summers other than baseball, so why stop?
Yeah, probably his biggest moment was when he was with the Mets in '86. Got the final out against Boston in the World Series.
Yep.
Sanchez taps this foul.
Hey, while we have a minute, Tim, just want to send along a hearty thank you for Mildred Chapman of Belpre, Ohio. Sent along a nice note while you guys are on the road. Appreciate that. She is a great Pirate fan and to send along her best, and we appreciate that, Mildred.
2-2 pitch to Sanchez. That's outside, 3-2. That's interesting to see the reach, too, of the Pirate fans. Got a letter today from somebody in Oregon. Watches the Bucks. And Sanchez toward the middle. Schumacher, the backhand, and not in time. Base hit, Freddie Sanchez.
Good hustle. You like to see that anytime your team's out in front by 6 runs. Sure don't want them to assume that it's a done deal, and Freddie won't get all that many infield hits, but he gets one here with good hustle.
Freddie's been doing a little bit of running lately. On Saturday in New York, for the first time in his career, he stole 2 bases in one game. How close this was. And Freddie clearly beat it. He's got it.
Parrott's right on the call.
Yeah.
But was that an out call later on? Was he hedging his bet?
Well, that was the old pumpernickel.
Oh, okay.
Slow roller right side. Schumacher will throw out McLeod, but he moves up Sanchez. Well, this Saturday night, the Pirates take on the Rockies, and all fans in attendance will receive a Nate McLeod 2008 All-Star bobblehead. Compliments of Consol Energy. Look at that. Can you tell the difference? It's an Eaton Park.
You can't.
It's an Eaton Park scratch and win night, too. Also,
Central Casting.
There you go. Every fan's going to get a scratch card from Eaton Park. Good for prizes. And you might even get a Nate McLeod game jersey. Those are some of the prizes available. For tickets, 1-800-BUY-BUCKS or visit Pirates.com. I think Nate has a good time with that. Adam LaRoche said bon voyage to the last ball that he made contact with. Deep to center field. Trevor Miller looking back at Sanchez at second. Now comes home. Breaking ball, a strike.
And you talk about left-hand relievers, any left-hander, but especially it seems like the relievers have that big sidearm breaking ball, that big roundhouse. They love to throw it to left-hand batters. Come all the way across the strike zone. Hey, Mr. Caps.
Starting to get loose. Swing and a miss. Just a note to follow on Orozco. 4 decades.
Yeah.
79 to 2001.
Joins that club. I don't know how many members there are, but I know Tim McCarver is a member of that 4-decade club.
And it's usually somebody who pitched the last year of 1 decade, the
Oh,
first
yeah.
year of another.
Not too many middles to middles.
Yeah. 9 different teams for Orozco. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Sanchez at second, and Adam LaRoche looking to make contact again. Miller's pitch. Swung on, popped up. This will be playable for Tyler Green. And that's going to do it for the Pirates in the 6th. They lead it 7-1 heading to the 7th.
In Pittsburgh is brought to you by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. And by Levin Furniture, home of the luxury Stearns & Foster mattress.
Top of the 7th inning in downtown Pittsburgh at PNC Park with Steve Blass. I'm Tim Neverett, and left-hander Zach Duke getting set to face Tyler Green. Pitcher spot. And Shane Robinson. First pitch right down to Andy LaRoche, and there is 1 down. Our Day Automotive, this day in baseball history, May 12th, 1955. The Cubs' Sam Toothpick Jones became the first African-American pitcher in Major League history to throw a no-hitter in a 4-0 win over the Pirates. That's our this day in Pirates history. Thank you to Day Automotive for that.
Sam Jones is a teammate of mine in Columbus, Ohio with the Columbus Jets in 1963. He had the biggest breaking curveball in the history of the universe.
Was he skinny? Is that where the toothpick came from?
No, he had a toothpick in his mouth all the time.
Really? It's like the old Royal shortstop U.L. Washington.
Mm-hmm. Dusty Baker.
Dusty Baker did that. And here is Jason LaRue. Now, you know that Tony La Russa is getting into his bench here because this is the backup catcher he's using in a pinch hitting role. He's got Brian Barden and Joe Thurston left on the bench. Again, this is because Keel is on the disabled list. Ryan Ludwig hurt himself. He's got a hamstring issue. Was lifted in the 2nd inning. So Colby Rasmus had to come in. 0-2 pitch. And this one is hit in the air to left, kind of deep. Heading back on it. Nigel Morgan. And there are 2 away.
Zach Duke is dealing. Gave up the home run to the 3rd batter of the ball game and has been spotless since up on the line score.
So now Shane Robinson will stand in, and you've got a sore Yadier Molina who was plunked by a pitch, and Cardinals hope nothing happens to him for the rest of the night with LaRue out. And you'd have to think that either Barden or Thurston is the emergency catcher, or neither one is. And that's a great play by Freddie Sanchez, and he throws him out. Oh, a terrific glove play by Freddie Sanchez. That's what it's about defensively. Wow. Freddie Sanchez throwing the leather around. Our score through 6.5 innings. The Pirates 7, Cardinals 1. Time for the 7th inning stretch, brought to you by our friends at Levin Furniture.
I'll tell you, the pitcher's best friend late in the ball game, you're trying to go as deep as you can. This ball is a base hit until Freddie Sanchez says no. What a terrific play. What a shot in the arm for Zach Duke. Watching Freddie do his thing, and at the time you're watching that, Zach Duke is already applauding. Yep. And should be. Simple as that. You love your defense, and that's Zach Duke will be talking about his defense tonight. Hopefully this runs out and the Pirates win the ball game, and he has been supported by good plays by Nate McLouth, the combination of Andy LaRoche and Jack Wilson, and now a sparkler by Freddie Sanchez.
Brad Thompson on the pitch. Jason LaRue stays in the game as part of a double switch. He will replace Yadier Molina, and you'll see Thompson in Molina's spot batting 5th, although we'll probably not see him hit. So LaRue will catch the rest of the way. Robinson Diaz behind in the count 0-2. And Thompson quickly into the windup. Tony La Russa's got to use everybody tonight pretty much, saving Barden and Thurston. Barden a right-handed hitter and Thurston a left-handed hitter. Only 2 position players and haven't done anything yet. Robinson Diaz has been impressing with his bat.
Oh, how about the numbers up on the scoreboard? He's hitting a cool .417. 2 for 3 and robbed of another base hit by Khalil Green, the shortstop for the Cardinals.
Bouncer down to Green. And Green takes care of Robinson Diaz. Let's look at tonight's Deal Automotive Farm Report. Get some news from the minor leagues. Garrett Jones, right fielder, homered last night against Syracuse, and he is 3rd on the Indianapolis Indians team with 21 runs batted, and he had a great spring, showed a lot of power, played first base, right field, and has been excelling in right field for Indianapolis. Former Minnesota Twin farmhand. When you're a first baseman with the Twins and your name's not Justin Morneau,
you're not the first baseman.
You better find a new team, and he's hoping to catch on with the Pirates. Andy LaRoche just hit by a pitch.
Yep, the same situation as the last batter to get hit. Can't remember who it was, but the back elbow. And kind of.
It's Colby Rasmus.
Yep, kind of leaning in and not getting that elbow out of the way.
Brandon Moss has been dangerous tonight. Half swing for a strike. 3 for 3 and a 2-run home run. He's scored 2 runs. Brandon Moss trying to catch up here. Had a bit of a drought, was in a slump that saw his average drop to 174. He's now up over 200.
Have yourself a night, Brandon.
And he's in the hole 0-2.
Might have got a little greedy there. Just looked like he was a little anxious to get to that ball.
Thompson took a lot off this one.
That breaking ball and had Brandon out in front.
0-2. And this one to the right side. Schumacher goes to Green for one. Back to first. Not in time. Fielder's choice for Moss. Got down the line in a hurry. So LaRoche retired at second on the force out. Well, this Sunday afternoon, the Pirates take on the Rockies, game 3 of that series. Check out the Giant Eagle Fun Zone. Pre-game out on Federal Street. Kids get to run the bases post-game. And all kids 14 and under will receive an Oliver Onion Build-A-Bear doll, courtesy of Mrs. T's. For tickets, 1-800-BUY-BUCKS or Pirates.com. Foul ball by Jack Wilson. What does that Oliver Onion look like? There he is.
He won the race tonight, too.
See, that's kind of like a parrot on a pirate's shoulder right there, isn't it? Except it's Oliver Onion. Pierogi. The pierogi on a pirate's shoulder.
Sometimes you have one on each shoulder, the good guy and the bad guy, and they're both very convincing.
One's got the halo and one's got the horns.
Both of you. Both of them trying to sell you on a program. And they're very convincing.
Jack Wilson, 1 ball, 1 strike. Wilson 0 for 3 tonight in his return from the disabled list. Tough one to lay off, but it was called a ball by Randy Marsh.
Yep, that's what you call the backdoor breaking ball. You start it inside. Most of the time, those pitches are designed to start on the outer part of the plate and tease the batter into swinging at a breaking ball that's going to be out of way by the time it gets there.
And this one right off the glove of the pitcher, Thompson, and Schumacher able to recover. That one was ticketed to center field, and Thompson saved a base hit. Oliver Onion coming from behind. Look at those strides. Leading the Pirates to a 7-1 lead, going to the 8th. Brian Barden, the pinch hit, leads off, rolling it down to Adam LaRoche. One pitch, one away in the Cardinal half of the eighth. Didn't take long for Zach Duke to get Brian Barden out.
He is. He's got the pedal down, as they say, the pedal to the metal or to the floor, whatever. He's just dealing. Give me the ball. I want to throw it again.
Barden hitting for Skip Schumacher, who was 0 for 3, and now Barden goes out 3 unassisted. Khalil Green looks at a breaking ball for strike 1. Green is 0 for 3.
When you're pitching like this, you can't wait to get the ball. You see Zach get the ball, looking for the sign. Let's go.
One and one.
He's closing in on 100 pitches. I don't know if that's going to be a determining factor or not, but there is activity in the Pirate bullpen. A breaking ball followed by a pitch that misses, and then a fastball right on the outside corner. Nice stuff. Fun to watch.
Well, and Zach Duke now into the 1-2 pitch, and that is outside 2-2. Thinking about Duke getting a complete game, chances are no, because Evan Meek's warming up and Duke leads off in the bottom of the 8th inning. I think you would agree that Zach's done his work tonight. Down the line to right, long run for Moss, and Moss makes a sliding grab. Oh, what a play by Brandon Moss.
I'll tell you, I've got some circles on the card tonight defensively, and Zach Duke ought to give him a round of applause. It is a fun night for Brandon Moss. It's time you had a little fun playing this game, Brandon. You're having it tonight. Great effort. Great effort. Some more applause from Zach. Come on. Yeah, I like it. I really like it.
Terrific play by Brandon Moss. Don't come much better than that along the line, do they?
I've got circles around that one. The 5-6-3 play involving Andy LaRoche and Wilson. The Sanchez play and the McLeod catch. Good stuff.
Albert Pujols up again with nobody on, and this is the case the last 2 times Tony La Russa has batted his pitcher 8th to try to get more runners on base for Albert Pujols. And again, 4 straight at bats, he's come up with the bases empty.
We just hope that Albert, who's a brilliant baseball player, doesn't bite his tongue in half. He got that Michael Jordan deal going. You watch a can we get a close up as he gets ready here? Is he going to do it? Yep.
Strike is called. Get a little messy if you chomp down on that.
Ow. Ouch.
Think Lenny Dykstra's uniform used to get dirty? This would be a mess. 3-2. Here is the payoff pitch. And this one is hit to straightaway center field. Nate McLeod on the run. And Nate McLeod, a terrific over-the-shoulder grab. Boy, oh boy, the Pirates outfielders this inning have done the job for Zach Duke. Brandon Moss, a great sliding grab. And a sensational running catch to take extra bases away again from Albert Pujols.
2009 Pirates Baseball on FSN Pittsburgh is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines has low fares with no hidden fees. Book now at southwest.com, where what you see is what you pay.
The Dogs tonight have seen
Fetch, Nate.
a
Fetch,
fetching
Brandon.
show. That's right. Craig Monroe leads off, pops this one foul. Monroe hitting for Duke. So Duke's night is done. An exceptional night for Zach Duke as he goes 8 innings. Gives up the 1 run on the solo home run by Albert Pujols on 4 hits. And he would strike out 5.
And how about the fact that after the first inning, he gave up 2 hits in the first inning and just 2 more the rest of his time out there tonight. Brilliant, and brilliant defense in back of him. A nice package. You never have good pitching without good defense, and sometimes you have exceptional pitching because of exceptional defense.
1-2 to Craig Monroe. Monroe has been used primarily in the last week and a half as a pinch hitter. He did start 1 game on the road trip. And he hits this one in the air to shallow right center. Backing up is the second baseman Tyler Green. He'll make the catch. Green moving from third to second. Brian Barden staying in and going to third base. I want you to support the Pittsburgh Fallen Heroes and thank everyone who protects and serves to make us safer. Visit FSNinsider.com today to order your Fallen Heroes t-shirt. All proceeds are evenly distributed between the heroes' families. Nigel Morgan. Strike 1.
So the final line on Zach Duke, 8 innings. He gave up a run on 4 hits. He walked a batter and struck out 5.
And he hit 2.
Yep. I'd call that a quality start.
And Zach Duke came into the game with a 3-3 record. He is sitting on possibility to raise his record to 4-3. And Morgan up the middle, a base hit. Another multi-hit game for Nigel Morgan.
Sharply hit just under the glove of Tyler Green.
Well, Green got to it, just couldn't get the glove down in time.
Yeah, and if he did come up with the ball in the glove, it would have been an awkward attempt for him to get back up into a throwing position with Morgan's speed. I think Nigel would have still beat out that ball for a base hit, even if he gets the leather around it. I think all the good defense has been used up by the Pirates to this point.
Freddie Sanchez swings and fouls this one away.
There's that ball down to your foul ball souvenir section you're talking about.
Yeah, anything from beyond the first base dugout down to the Clemente wall. If you're sitting down there, you're going to get a souvenir eventually. Keep coming to the ballpark. If you don't get one, you'll get one the next time.
Yep, bring your glove.
You know, we saw some good defense. We were looking at it on the road, you know, from the fans on the foul balls. Some of it was subpar. Some of it, one guy made a good barehanded play, but still, Pirate fans, the best defensive fans in baseball right now. 1-2, and Sanchez to center. Rasmus waits. And Freddie is out. Morgan back to first, and Nate McLeod will get another chance. Nate with 1 hit in 3 trips. He's also walked and driven in a run.
Well, you look at the aspects, the dimensions of a ball club that can put you in an 0-8 skid when you're not hitting on any of the 3 cylinders. You're not hitting, you're not pitching, you're not playing good defense. Well, tonight, all those aspects working very well for the Pirates. They've hit the ball well. They've done a great job of catching it, and they've done a terrific job of pitching. And that kind of combination, you should be ahead in the ball game.
The 0-1 is lined foul. 0-2 to Nate McLeod. Adam LaRoche seemed to start the game in the funk that he's been in, striking out twice, but then in the 5th inning, Blasted one to straightaway center field, just to the left of the shrubbery out there.
And before we get into the top of the ninth, where it gets kind of hectic, we'll wish the Pens all the best tomorrow night in their quest to continue on in the Stanley Cup playoffs. All the best to the Pens.
Popped up, shallow center. Colby Rasmus retires Nate McLeod. And the Pirates are done in the 8th. The runs a hit, a man left. We'll go to the 9th. 7-1 in favor of Zach Duke and the Bucks. At Aspen Dental, how about the Pirates flashing the leather around tonight? Jack Wilson, great play by Freddie Sanchez. Got a good play in the outfield too. Brandon Moss, an outstanding sliding catch. Nate McLeod covering a lot of room. And Zach Duke, a standing O for his D. And here is Matt Capps making his first appearance since the 4th of May.
Getting a little work in. Ideal scenario for Matt to get his feet wet again after all that time off. He's got a little cushion to work with.
Face Colby Rasmus, a pinch hitter Joe Thurston, and Chris Duncan. Rasmus for one, hit by a pitch last time up. Stepped into the pitch by Zach Duke, who was on the inside part of the plate, and his back elbow was just hanging there. Got picked off.
Not all bad to see Matt Capps come in and throw a couple fastballs, 93 and 92 miles an hour. And should we nail this thing down and put a lid on it, put a cap on it, this would rank among the best ball games that the Pirates have played this year.
That one is down the line, fair. And into right field, Brandon Moss is going to turn and keep Rasmus at first base, so the forced play remains in order. Look where the bat head ended up, way beyond first base.
There's one of those maple bats that becomes a spear.
And this bat just blows up.
Wow. That's as much height as you're going to see on one of those broken bats.
I mean, Adam LaRoche, I think, was rolling toward him. Had he stepped back a few steps, he might have tripped on the thing. Now Joe Thurston with a runner aboard. Pirates with a 6-run lead. There goes Rasmus, and Diaz is going to let him run all day. His run means nothing. In fact, the tying run isn't on deck until tomorrow. One-0 pitch from Capps. 2 balls and no strikes.
Speaking of tomorrow, Ross Ohlendorf against Joel Pinheiro.
Ohlendorf continues to pitch well. He's been very consistent. 2-0 pitch. That's outside 3-0. So Caps trying to bang off the rust. Missing the last 8 days. You know, he described his injury. Again, it was a kind of a bone bruise. And I say kind of a bone bruise because he didn't bang it on anything. Typically, you bruise a bone if you get hit or hit your elbow in a funny way. And he just never did that.
Yep, no stinger or anything. No.
He said he was, after the game, he came in and took his game jersey off, and as he moved his arm back to take his jersey off, he said it felt like somebody stabbed him with a hot knife in the back of the elbow. That's how he described it. And that's ball 4. So 2 men on and nobody out on the top of the 9th inning for the Cardinals as Thurston runs down to first. Colby Rasmus at second base, and the batter will be Chris Duncan.
Now you do have a comfortable cushion here. You got a 6-run lead, but what you want to do, even if it costs you an advancement on the bases, get an out here. Just settle it down and establish a little defense here in the top of the 9th inning. Just not let this thing get too far down the hill.
Middle infielders looking for 2. Sanchez deep at second base for the left-handed hitting Duncan. And Duncan takes low ball 1.
Zach Duke on the railing over there. And starting pitchers have different ways of handling watching the 9th inning when you're looking for that W on your side of the ledger. Some guys will go in the clubhouse and pace. Some guys will stay in the dugout. Some guys will walk back and forth.
1-1 to Duncan.
Looking for the fastball, getting it, but getting a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Zach counting pitches. I was a pacer.
You paced around?
Oh, I'd go back and forth. I put on several miles, looking for those last 5 or 6 outs, or 7 or 1 or whatever it was.
Now Caps ahead of Duncan 1-2. Manager just tell you to sit down every once in a while, or just let you go?
No. If you've done your good work, he'll leave you alone. You're just so absorbed in trying to get the train to the station.
Tyler Yates has been called upon to get up and start to loosen up to back up Matt Caps. 1-2 delivery. Had some pop on that, but it was inside. 2-2.
Looking for that first out. Diaz trying to sell it again, but no sale. 2-2. I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of finesse here as Matt's trying to get into that strike zone. Yes, come on. Oh, I thought he was going to get that call. So close. I thought he'd get that one.
Came across at the knees. 3-2. And this one is going to fall in for a foul ball. So a break for Matt Caps.
And a break on the bat of Chris Duncan.
Got that ball a little bit up. See, the last one that was called a ball right at the knees, and obviously Caps trying to keep the ball low to induce a ground ball, but just a foot wide of that foul line. And Duncan with a new piece of lumber.
And, you know, it gets in your head a little bit as a pitcher when you don't get those close calls. Now I got to come in more in. Well, if I'm not going to get that, I guess I got to come more toward the center of the plate. And now you're getting into a dangerous area. But you need strikes, and you need one right here.
3-2 pitch. And he'll do it again.
And when it's not easy, it's not easy. Last time Matt was out on the mound, it was against Milwaukee, and it was 1 inning, giving up 4 runs.
Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, nobody out, and Caps to Duncan. Loads the bases.
So unlike Matt Capps to struggle with his control. Now he hasn't pitched in a long time. And now Joe Kerrigan's going to go out and talk to Matt Capps, who's already been joined by Adam LaRoche.
So while Kerrigan goes out to talk to Matt Capps, in case you missed it, let's catch up on some baseball news. Roger Clemens knocks a new book and denies drug use, still maintaining his innocence. Bobby Jenks of the White Sox fined for throwing behind Ian Kinsler last week. Saw that tonight in this game. Joe Torre says Dodger teammates will support Manny Ramirez. They still want to have a meeting with him and are expecting one. Hideki Matsui leaves the Yankees game in the first inning with hamstring tightness. Derek Jeter wasn't in that lineup tonight, starting lineup. First time he hasn't started a game. So Matt Capps in a bit of trouble with nobody out.
What did Bobby Jenks fined $150?
No, $750.
Oh, $750. I thought originally it was $150.
No. I don't think they go that low anymore. That might be kangaroo court money. So Tyler Green at the plate with the bases loaded. Takes a big cut and a miss. Strike one. Now you're in this situation, Steve. Nobody out, bases loaded. You have a lead. Pitching with a comfortable lead, but still bases full. Just trying to get one out here.
Yep, trying to get an out. You've got to stop this. This is a momentum. It's not a real surge because you've got 6 runs to work with, but it is some momentum on the part of the Cardinals right now.
And Capps trying to come back. He's 0-2 now. Getting out here, you got a forced play to deal with, and Zach Duke is counting the seconds.
And you'd gladly give up a sacrifice fly to the outfield, cost you a run, but you trade it very nicely for an out.
No balls and 2 strikes to the second baseman, Tyler Green. Started the game at third tonight.
You're out in front 0-2. A little strikeout here. You don't have to have a strikeout, but it'd be a shot in the arm for Matt.
The 0-2 pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And the slider that he got out in front of, and by that I mean he got the body out in front. There was no way the arm can catch up. When the arm doesn't catch up, it leaves it high and inside a right-hand batter.
Tyler Green hit his first major league home run Friday at Cincinnati in a pinch hitting role. Recently recalled from AAA Memphis. And he got him. So Capps gets the first one.
And it doesn't cost him a run.
And now he'll face the catcher, Steve LaRue.
Breaking ball was split or looked like a little backup slider. Matt, it doesn't matter what it was. It's strike 3.
Jason LaRue at the plate. Thinking of Steve LaRue, the catcher for the Pirates in the minor leagues. Jason pops this one up. Robinson Diaz gives it a look, but it's behind the dugout. LaRue hit a home run against the Pirates in that brief 2-game road trip to St. Louis. Came in and knocked one out of the yard deep to left center field. 4 grand slams in his career. Get that old Al Robowski mustache, huh?
Yeah. He's had a terrific career as a major league catcher. Jason LaRue.
Top of the 9th, 1 out, bases full, and Capps pitching to LaRue. 0-2.
Well, the first at bat, Jason LaRue way out in front of a couple pitches, a couple swings and misses against Zach Duke, and then comfortable fly ball to Nyjer Morgan, and now Matt Capps has him 0-2. And once again, he was out in front of that previous pitch.
No balls, 2 strikes, 1 down.
Just flat out guessing fastball.
Jason LaRue waving that bat back and forth, looking out at Matt Capps. And a big right-hander deals. Strike 3, got him.
And he just turned the dial up to 95 miles an hour on that one. So Matt Capps out there, what you call reaching back a little bit. And that had some mustard on it. fastball after the low breaking ball. Nice 1-2 punch, out.
So after giving up a single, walking 2, Caps has struck out Green, now struck out LaRue. He'll face Shane Robinson, who's 1 for 3. Pitch. Strike 1.
Slider. Anytime Matt Capps can start off an at-bat with something other than fastball, it really gives him an advantage. Doesn't always result in success, but now they've got to be aware. Would he come back with that because he has the luxury of being out in front 0-1, or are they going to see that real good fastball? That's kind of what puts him in the driver's seat.
0-1.
Yep. Another breaking ball. They won't get the appeal, but that's what the hitter has to deal with. They know he can throw it 94, 95, but because he threw that first slider over, could you see it again? And he did, and Robinson did a good job laying off that pitch. That's a pitch that a lot of major league hitters will take a swing at because they can't help but look for that fastball.
1-1 to Shane Robinson. And Robinson to right field. Brandon Moss has it, and the ball game is over. Thanks for coming, St. Louis. Make sure you turn out the lights and lock the door on your way out. Pirates win it 7-1 and end an 8-game losing streak. Zach Duke, a very impressive 8 innings and a terrific night from that man, too.